Good evening and warm welcome to those who are here in person and joining us online. Um, do you remember the theme this evening? No? Courage is contagious, right? How many of you here were last week? You missed last week? Okay. So we had a very special event with Sister Jayanti and Lavina Tandon. So can watch on YouTube for if those of you missed or want to revisit. But this evening is Courage is Contagious, and we have Umang Mody with us. Umang is a chartered accountant by profession, and he specializes in internal audit and risk management, and has run projects in UK, Europe, and in India, and also a meditator for last 18 years. And he helps with our activities in East London. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Umang. On a personal note, Umang, I feel, is very, very dedicated with whatever he takes on, very sweet, gentle, and always warm and welcoming. So we're here to listen to Umang. Thank you.
Some reflection. I'll be sharing some of my thoughts, and then perhaps we can then start the talk. So let me sit comfortably in my chair. Let me relax my entire body. I do a quick scan of my body and I relax my entire muscles. Letting go of all the tension in my body. All the stress, the muscular pain, the aches. I let go of the pain. In this stillness, I imagine myself standing at the shore of the sea. There, I see a boat which is about to leave. In that boat, I put all my worries, anxieties, fears. It's like I wrap it all my energies, put it to the boat, and I give a gentle nudge to the boat, and I see it leave the shore. As the boat leaves, and I see it going further and further away, I become very calm, relaxed, focused. And in this calmness, I give a thought to myself that I'm to remain calm, focused, concentrated for the next 1 hour. Let me remain in the present. Om Shanti. So the topic for today is, what's the topic? Courage is contagious. And I think before we start, let us understand what courage is. This can mean to different people in different contexts based on people's values, priorities, etc. But courage is when you do something which is not within your comfort zone, where you have to move out, you're moving out of your comfort zone, or you're trying to achieve or do something which in the past you have failed. So you're trying to redo it something, and you know that you failed in the past or you've not achieved the success which you wanted, and you are now doing that activity. Or it could also be something where nobody has done before. So there's nothing to copy, so it's a leap into the unknown. Even that task is a sign of courage. It can also mean that times when you are challenged by the values and principles which you live by, if you're challenged, that's courage, because if you have to live your values and principles by which you stand by, and if you're challenged, you have to have that extra courage to complete or do the task. It can also mean at times when, if I have to bring some inner change within myself. So one is to do something externally to accomplish a task, a situation. It can also be something where I want to, let's say, conquer some of my inner weaknesses. Having checked myself, I said, oh, I need to conquer my anger. Or it could be any one of my inner weaknesses, defects, which I know, and I have to work on it. So then even that needs a lot of courage to sort of work on yourself, do a very quick, honest check on yourself and work on that. Even that needs courage. Some of the examples of courage could be something as simple as, let's say you're moving to a new city, a different city, or let's say you are appearing in exams, or you're going to reappear your exams when you failed in the past. It could be taking a new job, having difficult discussions with your seniors or people with authority. That needs a lot of courage. Especially if you haven't trained yourself to put yourself in those difficult situations, you might feel vulnerable, but you still have to put your point across. That needs courage. It can also mean where you want to ask a raise in your workplace. So these are different situations where we need courage. A lot of times in the corporate world, nowadays people do whistleblowing. You might have heard of whistleblowers, where somebody notices where there's a corrupt act or some illegal doings happening in the company, and they whistleblow. So whistleblow is where you're anonymous, but you put a facts, you tell what's going wrong with the company. In the history, we've seen a lot of examples where people who whistleblow, their careers have been, the companies won't want them to grow, prosper. And that needs a lot of courage to stand up for big multinational corporates which aren't doing the right thing. They might say something, but they are doing something different. That's hypocrisy. In order to stand up to those companies, it needs a lot of courage. In my professional experience, I've seen a lot of companies where they would fudge the numbers. So they would report an incorrect profit. Why? Just so that the share value, the returns they give to the shareholder is much more. So people fudge the numbers. They would overstate their profits, overstate the sales. And if you know of that, and if you stand up for that company, that needs a lot of courage. So in history, we've seen a lot of examples where people who are courageous, they've had a big impact in societies, communities, countries, and across the world. But any talk on courage is incomplete if you don't touch upon the opposite of courage, which is fear. I have fear, I do fear. I'm sure most of us have had some fear at some point of time in life, and for some it's constant, that fear is constant. Because fear is like a disease. When it comes, it spreads like wildfire. And when there's fear and you do what you got to do, that's courage. In the moments of fear, you know you're scared, but you know you do what you've got to do, the right thing, that's courage. Because the opposite side of courage is fear. And again, fear has different, it has very big impact on our body. It has a negative impact on our body. If that fear is not addressed, it can be transformed into anger, which can affect my coronary arteries. They say that if when fear is found time, it could result to autoimmune disease or even cancer. If the fear is not addressed, you could have nervous breakdown, anxiety, panic attacks, asthma, etc., etc. It even affects our digestion system. I wasn't aware of that until maybe 2 weeks back. And I read an article on fear and its impact on health. And what they say, that the neurons in our body, so when they communicate to each other, they're very lively, and it by connecting, when the neurons connect, when they speak to each other, it makes us lively and we live a long life. But that happens when we are in a happy place, when we have moments, good quality moments with family, friends, happy moments. And if there's fear, those neurons, they don't connect. They don't connect, and I could be sort of not have a long life, or it won't be, it's not going to be very lively for me. So it's very important to address fear, know what my fear is. And hence the need to, it's not something that overnight I can conquer fear. I need to cultivate courage. It's a process. I need to cultivate courage. Because at times I don't be courage because there's something which is stopping me. Maybe I think that if I do certain things, there's something in my heart which I want to, which I think it might hurt me, or if I do certain task, there would be rejection, or people would not agree to me. But the more I sort of address those issues, gradually I start to cultivate courage. And that's what is essential. Because what is the purpose of life? To grow, to if I see myself in the front of the mirror every day, can I say very happily, wholeheartedly, that am I doing the things which I wanted to do or which I want to do? Am I putting my energies to achieve my dreams? Do I have the same attitude, let's say in the evening, when I look myself in the mirror, do I have the same attitude when I had a lovely day, or when it was a difficult day, when it was frustrating, when I was rejected, when I was hurt? What was my quality? Has my face dropped or is it not? Because courage is a very important value. It's like the The more I'm courageous, it sort of draws, it attracts the other values and the virtues. It's like purity. I'm sure you've heard before. Purity is the mother of all virtues. And similarly, courage. The more courageous you are, all the other values come and they support you. If you heard of Jonathan Livingstone, so Jonathan Livingstone is a seagull. It's a very well read, it's a very popular fable book, which I didn't know until 2 years back. I think I follow cricket a lot, so the coach of I follow the Indian cricket team, but I also follow the English cricket team. So it's not that but when India and England plays, I probably support the Indian cricket team. But jokes apart, so this was I picked up. So the coach of the Indian cricket team, he was sharing about the book which he tells his players to read. That's when I came to know about this book called. It's a story about a seagull, Jonathan Livingstone, by Richard Bach, and it's into 3 parts. So seagulls are the seagulls. Their only objective in life is to eat and survive. Flying is not there on the agenda. They don't want to fly. They are just on the shore. They will just go to the edge of the shore, pick up, eat breadcrumbs or what is the leftovers, or they'll go to shallow water, some fish or what is left on the boats, and they come back. That's what they do for survival. It's just eating and survival. But this Jonathan Livingstone, the seagull, he was quite different. He was quite different. He wanted to explore flying. What is flying? And he was told that you are the best because you don't have fear of learning. Then Jonathan thinks that, okay, I've come on to a very different place. I'm very different now. But what about the seagulls who are still there at the shore? My flock. That's where part 2 finishes. In part 3, that seagull has a very strong thought. He said, no, I still have to go back, meet my flocks. But there might be some other flocks, some other seagulls who want to sort of get out of their mundane routine. Then he comes back to the shore, and gradually 4 or 5 seagulls also, they start to learn from him. They start to learn from him. Now the senior members are saying this is something different. They are seeing that more and more seagulls are learning from him. They are experimenting. They are sort of trying a new way of life. So then what eventually they do is they try to kill Jonathan. But somehow he survives. He said, my last lesson, what I've learned from this senior seagull in his different world, he said that you have to love. You have to love people. Because only if you love, then can you encourage them to sort of grow. That's where the part 3 and sort of the book finishes. So some of the lessons which I thought were very, very profound is, if you try to do something different which is not against the norm, you might be ridiculed, like Jonathan initially. But he had a dream. He followed it. He had a dream and he followed it. And the other thing what the senior told, that imagine that you're already perfect. That's what we also learn in meditation, to imagine what I want to become. Imagine myself as a complete being without any flaws. And do not have the fear of learning. When you learn, you fail, but that's okay. And to love. Because then for him, Jonathan was not just about him becoming better version of himself, but then he wanted to help others also. That's what happens when courage, it's a contagious, it's like you want to help others also. For me, that was the key learnings from this, the story of Jonathan Livingstone. So what we could do is, I could share some of my thoughts, some pointers on how we can cultivate courage, or maybe get rid of our fear. The first is, what I've picked up is, trust yourself. This starts, Sister Daksha mentioned about last Tuesday we had a fantastic talk by Lavina Tandon interviewing Sister Jayanti. And they had this one of those, quick questions, like you got to answer in one word. So what is it for, the question was, if you have self-doubt, what do I do? And Sister Jayanti said, recognize your quality. Recognize your quality. And the moment you recognize your qualities, it helps you to grow, to further grow. So when we say trust yourself, it means to have a very high self-respect, self-esteem for the self. Because the spiritual law says that if I respect myself, others will respect me, they'll start to trust me. If I decide to take a courageous step, but I don't trust myself, people are not going to support me because I don't trust myself. And people can pick up those vibrations. It's very important. Even the word says self-respect. It means there's something which I need to do. It's a self thing. It's not something which others will be able to give me. I'm sure those who are coming regularly to the talks out here, in order to build a self-respect, the most I think the effective, powerful tool is power of self-affirmation, self-talk, positive thoughts to yourself. And my 3 favorite self-affirmations are: success is my birthright. Success is my birthright. I am God's child. I'm child of the God. And third is, I am a powerful being. I'm a powerful being. Because the more I become stronger within myself, I'm able to I don't get influenced by the negativity around me. What will people say? What do they say? Think about me, etc., etc. That chatter goes away. There's this, I'm just going to draw. So this is what I think this is what I think people think about me. Okay, this is the chart for the reality. I think we think that people are consciously thinking about me. What is Umang doing? What is Umang not doing? Etc., etc. But the reality is, people don't care. I'm so at times conscious as to what people are thinking about me and what am I doing? Am I doing it the right way? Am I doing what the society wants me to do? Etc., etc. But this is the reality. We need to become not conscious about what others are thinking about us. One of the seniors in Brahmakumaris, Dadi Prakashmani, now she's passed away. This is going back to many years back. But one of her profound teachings which has touched me, she would say in Hindi, so then I'll translate it. कि हर रोज 3 केला खाना है. The word comes from, he said कि आप अकेले आए हो, means you've come alone in this world. आपको अकेला सब करना है और सब challenges मुश्किलियां अकेला आपको पार करना है. Means you have to move ahead in life by yourself. Yes, there'll be people around you, but any challenges which come to you, you have to face. People won't face it for you. And the third was, आपको अकेला जाना है. When you go back, you go alone. People don't join you. You come alone on this earth, this planet, to play a role. Your life journey, the challenges, obstacles which you come, I have to face. I can't outsource them. It's not an IT issue or something which I can outsource it. I cannot outsource it. And third is, I go also alone. So she would say always, I still remember those 3 words. आप अकेले आए थे, अकेले जीना है और अकेले जाना है. That happens when I have complete trust in myself. The more I trust myself. The second is trust in God. If I say I'm a powerful being, but then I need to connect to somebody who is an ocean of power, right? Because courage, if you say courage, we say it's easy to take the right step, but it's not. We can say, oh, just do the right thing. It takes a lot of courage to take the right step, the correct step. Because what are you doing? Why is there fear? Because you're going to take a leap in the unknown. You're going to take a leap in the unknown. That is why there's a saying in the Brahmakumaris, if you take one step of courage, God will help you 1,000 times. But the condition is, I have to take the first step of courage. And then, the God, the Supreme, whatever, He will help us, because I've put my neck out. I've tried to do something which is difficult. And you need that extra power to take those courageous decisions. That faith in God trust in God is very, very important. And once I take that first, so that's the condition. You take one step of courage. And then the people, situations will come to sort of, it's a spiritual law, it will come to help you and move forward and help you to sort of resolve the problem or help you move forward. Now this reminds me of a story. There's this guy who's going in a desert. It's hot, it's dry, and he's very thirsty now. Like, if I don't have water, I won't survive. It's that stage. Suddenly, far away, he sees a hut. He says, wow, I see a hut. But he's not sure, is it because of the reflection of the sun, or is it a hut? So he goes in that direction. He sees a hut. He's excited, he's happy. Oh, wow. Because he's hoping that inside the hut he'll find water. He goes inside the hut, and luckily he sees a water pump, a hand water pump. He says, oh yeah, maybe this is what I'll get water. And then he looks around the room. It's an empty room. In the other corner of the room, he sees a bottle filled with water. It's corked, so it's closed. And there it says at the note put next to the bottle that open the bottle, uncork it, and use this water to start the hand pump. Oh, he is in a dilemma. What if I don't have this water also? I use it to start the water pump. The water pump doesn't give any water. It says run out of water. Whatever the reservoir from what it's going to pull, there's no water out there. He is in a dilemma what to do. I want to have those few 250 ml of water, whatever that is. I won't even have that water. I'll probably die. The right step, the courageous step. It says you use this water to start the hand pump. And with a lot of faith, he sort of opens the water, pours the water in the hand pump, and then he sort of pulls the trigger for the hand pump to start. After a few minutes, he sees it's like a river. There's so much of water coming out from that pump. He's right. He sort of had water to his satisfaction. And then when he left, he just, so in the note, he says, the note says that you put water to start this water pump. So he also filled the bottle back, and he said and he put a note saying, trust me, it works. For somebody else to come and say, like, this works. This is what happens. Let me trust God. I take the first step of courage, and things will work out. The third step, the pointer is, I need to be aware of my actions or inactions. And when I say that, I'm saying the law of karma. What we understand is, whatever action I do, there's an equal and opposite reaction. At times I'm uncertain whether should I do it or not do. I don't have the courage to take the right step. But if I know the law of karma very well, it will inspire me to do the right actions. It will inspire me to take the right step, because I know that even not doing an action can also result in a karma, negative karma. Is that because that's what we learn: as you sow, so shall you reap. Just as we have laws of physics, if you break the laws of physics, we have a safety issue, right? Similarly, if we break the laws of karma, I will bear the consequences, good or bad. Maybe now, a week later, a year later, or sometime eventually it will catch up with me. So if even having this awareness of this, it will inspire me to take the right actions. Dishonesty. A lot of people are dishonest, or they take shortcuts to success. But that's different. I still remember, since I've been coming to Brahmakumaris, I've learned one thing from the seniors, that even the money which you earn and which you sort of give to the institute has to be earned from very right sources. In terms of, there shouldn't be any dishonesty in the way you've earned money. I still remember they would say that the food cooked from the money earned through dishonest means will never give you happiness. It will give you peaceless nights. It's very important to know the law of karma. One is to, and when I know it, it's easy. It will help me guide my actions in the right way. And if I know I've done something, fine, I can correct it. That's the beauty of the law of karma. The fourth is my attitude. What is my attitude? In any change or any difficult situation, what is my attitude? One thing which we learn spiritually teaches us that nothing is permanent. Everything will change. Change is the only constant factor in life. One is to know it. Oh yeah, things will change. The more you hear it on a regular basis, and you start to understand that, okay, change can happen, change is the only constant, then I'm more prepared when that unforeseen event happens, because I know, oh yeah, that's change. Because either there'll be the people, so I think in any challenge you'll see difficult people or it'll be difficult situations. If I accept the situation or people, then the problem dissolves. If I resist, then it sort of multiplies, it persists and it grows and grows. So what is my attitude in times of adversity? One is, am I mentally prepared in advance that, yeah, things will change. Things will change. Even in the last 1 year, things have changed so much. Petrol prices, they have changed. War, they have changed. Things are constantly changing. But if I really have let it sink into my subconscious level, then I'll be okay. Yeah, I know that. Then it becomes not a theory, but something which you can use that. It can be a tool to help you remain calm and stable in uncertain times. There's this psychologist, he's also, I think, a neurologist, neurosurgeon, Viktor Frankl. He was one of the survivor of the Nazi concentration camps. He said that you can be stripped of everything. There are two things which people cannot take from you. One is your attitude, and second is to choose your destiny. Okay, that is what is in your. Nobody can steal away those two things from you. Your attitude. What is my attitude in times of adversity, difficult situations? So that attitude, that courage, if I'm the right attitude, I can face that situation. There's this senior brother, Brother Jagdish in the Brahmakumaris. He's passed away, very powerful meditator, very knowledgeable soul. This is many years back. Once he went to New York for a service visit, and this is when he was. It was late in the evening, so the sister at the center told him that don't take a certain route. He said, don't take this route, which was a shorter route to come to the center. He said, take the normal route. And Brother Jagdish was running late. Despite knowing that, he took the shorter route. And as he took the shorter route, it was dimly lit, narrow lanes. It was halfway the street, and he sees 4 people coming in front of him. They have a knife. I said, give me whatever you have. The Brother Jagdish, so what did he do? He said, look, I've come from India. What I can do is, I can't give you, but I can show you an Indian dance. In times of adversity, he has the creativity, the lightness to say that I'll show an Indian dance. And he starts to dance in the times of adversity. Now that transformed the situation. Even they became lighter. They started to enjoy the dance, and he ran away with it. So the message is, if you practiced, if you are a meditator, or if you know some of the steps, you can remain calm and creative in these times of adversity. You can remain calm. There was this few years back, I think, in my company, I had to work for, so we work on different projects, and then I happened to work, I had to work for a partner, the senior most partner of the company, but he was very short-tempered. He was very short-tempered, and there were stories where he would throw the reports, papers, etc. Couple of times the company had to send him on professional anger management courses, those paid courses. And for some reason, I had to work on a project with him. I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice. And the project was something which was slightly outside my comfort zone. I didn't work on that. I knew the principles of how to deliver this project, but just slightly outside my comfort zone. But then I said, look, let me let me remain very calm, and let me sort of, I didn't panic or so I don't want to work with him or whatever. I said, no, let me explore, let me see how my power of peace can help me in working with this individual. And every day in the morning, I would send him very nice, powerful thoughts that you are peaceful, we are working very nicely in a very collaborative way. And that project was one of my most enjoyable project in my company. I mean, in the last 5 years or whatever I've worked in that company, it was one of the most enjoyable projects. We had very good feedback from the client, but more importantly, we got along very well. And when I left my company, he was the first person to say, "Oh, Umang, we're going to miss you." And we had a very nice relationship, and it's not often that he gets along with people. So I think it's what I'm trying to say, that if you are light, if you accept the situation, things work out, things work out, things work out. There's no resistance. And then the fifth thing I want to tell is, it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail. A lot of times we say, oh, that I have to be successful, or if you're trying new things, you're trying to out of a comfort zone, it's perfectly fine to fail. But what you got to learn a lesson that it's okay. Maybe something better is going to work for me. So those obstacles become a challenge for you. Those obstacles, they become sort of a stepping stone for you. So let me learn why I didn't achieve the success which I wanted, and that's okay. Like they say, so one of the it could have many models for success. One of them is this is failure, this is failure, this is failure, this is failure, and this is success. But then each failure becomes a stepping stone for you to sort of grow further. And if you have this high self-respect, high self-esteem, you're not, if you have a high self-esteem, high self-respect, you're not worried about small failures. You know that these are required, and you need failures to learn in life, to grow in life. Because that can be one of the obstacles. When I want to take a courageous step, oh, what if I fail? Hurt, rejection. It's okay, who cares? We've seen it, eh? People don't care. We think that whole world's watching me. Nobody cares. You got to do what you have to do. Remember Jonathan Livingstone? He failed. He died from 400 feet, 1,000 feet. And he sort of hit splash hard in the water. But then he bounced back. He bounced back. You want it? Thank you. The sixth thing I wanted to talk was about We spoke a lot about fears and courage and the fear of death. I think we have fear of illness, the fear of death, and that's one of the most common fear which we have. But what does spirituality teach me? The first thing, when you come to a meditation center out here, you might have learned or you might have known that who am I? I am not the body. I am not the body. I am the one which gives life to the body. I am an eternal point of light. I am eternal. So I existed even before I entered this body, and I will continue to exist after I leave this body. If I really understand this very well, there's nothing to fear. I'm constantly on a journey. Just said I changed my costume, my address, that's it, and I move on. That itself, that feeling, if you let it sink and reflect on it, can be very liberating. This point of light, the energy is eternal. That itself can be very, very liberating. Okay, I think we'll stop here. Yeah. Conscious of the time. Time runs. Time.
Yes.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you very much. Beautiful talk. Thank you. I just wanted to, I don't even know if it's a question, but I just wanted to say about wisdom, because often, especially nowadays, young people have got so many things coming at them, and sometimes it's not obvious what success, which is our birthright, but some people get confused about what success is for them and whether they're putting their ladder against the right wall or the wrong wall. And I think it's more now as well because of the seeming amount of options that are presented to us, seemingly. Whether there are that many options, I don't know, but there's a sort of, like a sort of an endless parade of possibilities, say in career choices, but also knowing when to stick and when to fold and when to bet, if you like, to use a gaming metaphor. And I just think that the wisdom has to be in there as a sort of a partner of courage, so that we sit in our deeper self, and from there, sometimes situations come very quickly. And so, for instance, I was walking back late at night the other day, and there was a girl wrestling on the floor with what looked like her boyfriend, and she was screaming, "Give me my coat back, give me my coat back," and there were like 5 men standing around her, and my initial action, impulse was to do something, but being sort of a bit of a coward, I suppose, I didn't. But it wasn't just that, it was suddenly I'm aware of my family, I'm aware of the knife in his pocket, I'm aware of the fact that it might have been something that they might have both been on drugs, and this might have been a kind of ritual thing that they do. You don't have all the information, so you have to act on intuition. And I stood there and looked at him, and he caught my eye. And sometimes, if you just do that and just wait, and there were other men standing around, but they weren't doing anything. So I thought, do they know this person? Do they understand the social dynamics of this better than I do? But there's lots and lots and lots of considerations that you suddenly sometimes have to make at very short notice. And I think that a lot of people have trouble because there's some part of them that they're questioning their decision that they want to be courageous about, and they're questioning it, and they're thinking, have I made the right decision? And that's going to affect how courageous they can be. So I just wanted to draw a connection between courage and wisdom. That's kind of my point, really.
Yeah, I think but you need wisdom also. Wisdom is where you have refined knowledge. That's where you need wisdom also. Wisdom has to go hand in hand with courage.
So we'll finish with some meditation first.
Yeah, sure. Let's again gather our thoughts. Sitting comfortably. I focus my attention on the center of the forehead. I visualize a point of light in the center of the forehead. A shining star-like. This point of light is I am eternal. And the original qualities are peace, love, and power. I have all the resources within me to be stable, in any situation. And being a child of God, having the understanding of being a child of God, I also can access the powers of the unlimited, who's the ocean of peace, ocean of love, and ocean of power. This awareness of being a child of God and thus having a sense of security, protection, it makes me carefree. But it also equips me with all the tools I need to face any situation. I can visualize a situation or a challenge which I am facing, and I now understand that I simply need to take the first step, the first correct step of courage. And as I visualize taking the first step of courage, I can imagine all the tension, the resistance going away. And I feel the support of the Supreme in that situation. Om Shanti.
So, good evening, everyone. And you join me in thanking Umang for such a sweet, gentle, and all these lovely stories that you weaved to give us the message of how to take the step of courage. And so, taking many things home. So, the story of the seagull, Jonathan, and the pump story, and Brother Jagdish's story about being creative in this time of anxiety, and your own personal story of good wishes. So lovely, lovely. We thoroughly enjoyed. And one thing that I'm certainly underlining is that keep the courage. Yeah, you have to see, take the courage of, unknown, and get over the fear. And whatever is to happen has to happen. Yeah, and when we take the step of courage, God helps. Our theme next Tuesday will be worry less, live more. And our speaker is going to be Sister Kanan. And the week for the product, the product for the week is Dare to Live. Every week we try and find a product that goes well with the theme we've covered. So Dare to Live. So our shop is open, so feel free to browse and get the book or various other things that are there in the shop. And every Monday and Thursday evening, we have meditation online from 7 to 7:30. And on Thursdays, if you prefer to come here in person, that's possible as well from 7 to 7:30. So this is all for now. And yes, the event last week is on our YouTube. And we also had the fortune of Paul playing the music and singing for us. That was very well received. And thank you. Come again soon.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation. Thank you.
And thank you to all our online viewers as well.